The map of Galia. The stories and efforts of Star Atlas take place in Galia, a star system cluster within the Milky Way galaxy. At the heart of Galia is the enshrouded Cataclysm. In Star Atlas' golden era, Sage, there are three factions: the Mud, the Oni, and the Uster. They are in the midst of stabilizing their own security zones. Each security zone has a Nexus star system that boasts a central space station. Each faction's security zone is safe and will not have player versus player combat. The respective security zones will have an empty star system in need of colonization via a starbase construction. Outside of the security zones are the medium risk zones. Here, PvP and player versus environment (PvE) gameplay is enabled. Combat in the medium risk zone comes with the risk of fleet destruction. Upon your fleet getting destroyed, you lose your fleet's cargo, and your fleet will undergo a respawn time. Once the respawn timer has elapsed, players can choose to reform their fleet either at their faction CSS or at their home star system. Respawning at the CSS is free, but fleets will always need to be in need of repair upon arriving at the selected respawn location. The map of Galia is partitioned into sectors. Each sector can be thought of as a grid, like a section on the map. Some sectors are mostly empty, and we call those dark sectors, but others can host an entire star system. Each safety zone will have 5 star systems, including the pre-populated system where the central space station resides. The medium risk zone will have 36 star systems for a total of 51 star systems across the map. The number of star systems will increase over time, and a star system has between 4 to 8 planets, with the system being broken up into an inner ring, a middle ring, and an outer ring. A system will always have at least one inner, one mid, and one outer planet that are unlocked with starbase upgrading. At the game's start, some of the medium risk zone star system will be controlled by Jorvik, which is the banished faction, and must be PvE cleared before establishing the Council of Peace, the COP control. As the game progresses, the 3 COP factions will build out their star bases in the medium risk zone and will eventually collide with one another. They will fight to control or upgrade as many star bases as possible. Okay, so let's just take a moment and appreciate what it is we're looking at here. And before we do this, this is the vision of what this will look like. But let me just show you quickly what it actually looks like now if you were to be playing the game. So what you're looking at on the screen now is the live version of Sage Labs. This is live and people are playing it now. And what we can see here are the 3 different factions. So you can actually see the individual grid squares. You can also see the chessboard-like bigger grid squares. So you can see the smaller grid squares, which are made up of the chessboard size grid. And then on top of that, you can see the 3 faction icons. Now, if you look at the bottom of this screen, you can see Mud. At the very bottom of the screen, it says Mud 4. And just above that, it says Mud Starting Zone. That is the CSS. Around it, you'll see Mud 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the safe zone. You'll see in the top left for Oni the same thing, and in the top right for Uster you'll see the same thing. You then have the medium risk zones. There is 1 through to 36. Some are controlled by Mud, some are controlled by Oni, and some are controlled by Uster during labs. But later these will be free for all, and you'll be able to travel between them. So this is what is currently live at the moment. And now let's just go back across here to this version, and we can zoom in and have a bit of a better look at this map. So if we look at this map at the moment, and I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see it just a little bit better. you'll kind of get an idea of what we're going to be looking at in this game. So you can see this is kind of flipped because what I showed you on the other map, mud was at the bottom. Here it's kind of in the top left, but it's the triangle. So you can see this here. So this is the starting zone of each of the factions, whereas this is the medium risk zone here. In the center, this area here, this is that dark cataclysm. This is the high risk zone. We can also see if we look here and this is subject to change, but as a design, we can see your faction, we can see our logo, our level, our XP, we can see our loyalty points, we can see our atlas, we can see our menu, our navigation here where we can filter through to see our galaxy, our fleets, our planets, what's mining, extracting. We can see a lot of things here. If we scroll down, we can see some more information about our fleets. We can manage our ships, stop our ships. We can look at our cargo bay. We can see our food, our toolkits, our ammunition. We can see our health and our armor, what ships we have, as well as some other icons here that we'll be able to look at in the future. Now, this is star-based. This is the next iteration of the game. The version that we are currently looking at of the game is Labs. And Labs looks like this. So this is Labs right now. If you go to Labs and you log in, this is one of the first things you'll see. Now, this is not an interactive menu at the moment, but you can navigate to the sectors using these text-based commands and these buttons. Here you can see your fleets, your crafting process, any surveying that you're doing. You can visit any of the space stations by navigating to the sector by using this button, and this will take you here. Once you're in a space station, you will have the ability to look at the star base, any of your undocked fleets within this zone, any of the available planets, any mining operations that can happen, and some metadata that is also available. Within the starbase, you'll be able to deposit or withdraw ships from your wallet, check out your starbase hangar, where you can actually go and interact with your ship, refuel it, and move around cargo. You'll also be able to form fleets based on the ships that you have available, or disband them if needed. You can also do crafting. If you click on the crafting, there is a crafting menu broken down into 4 tiers, plus the SDUs. So if you wanted to craft a ship, you can. The ability for you to be able to go and gather the resources so that you can then craft these ships is totally possible in this version of Labs. You can check out your inventory in this current space station. This is localized inventory. And you can also check out the starbase metadata. All of this information is available. And if you wanted to, you could return to the dashboard, look at your fleets, and here you're going to be able to go to that assets location, which in this case is the MUD CSS. You're going to be able to manage that fleet. And here you can move the fleet around by clicking on these squares. This is this chessboard that we looked at before. You can check out the cargo on the ship, any mining, or you can do some scanning. You can also self-destruct, but I don't recommend that. And once you're finished, you can dock your ship to dock it onto the starbase. You'll do a transaction on the Solana network that will dock to the starbase, and then you will be able to go back to your starbase, to your hangar, and you will then be able to interact with this fleet. So this is actually live right now. You can play and use this, and it's given people an opportunity to be able to focus on the resource mining at the different locations, as well as the crafting that is currently available in the game. There's a lot of efficiency and min-maxing that is happening at the moment. There's a lot of factions that are creating data points that you can see and you can view online, and I've done videos covering that. But for the purpose of the game manual, we're going to focus on this and this alone. And I wanted you to see the map in how it's going to look compared to how it currently looks in this pre-alpha Labs version. This will be star-based, which will be the next version that we hope to see at the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024.